What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I did want to talk about Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown's exclusive gameplay. This was actually shown yesterday, showing pretty much a lot of different things like nighttime, daytime, different cars and different things going on in the game at the moment. And I have to say right now it makes me pretty dang hyped up watching it. Now I do know a lot of things could be nitpicked, or players can look at certain things and go, what about this or what about that? To be honest, man, I'm just excited for another racing game, and I'm also excited to play a new test drive game. Like, it's been a minute, and I really did not get a chance to play the old games all that much, so for me, it's probably going to be a brand new experience I can't wait for. Even though many of the racing games nowadays aren't going to be all that good, man. Like, currently in the actual competition of this game, what do we have, guys? We got Motorfest, Forza. I would say right now Forza is obviously going to be better than Motorfest, and Motorfest is basically falling into a pit it most likely can't get out of. So a lot of people are like, yo, we kind of need a new racing game. And boom, Test Drive is coming in September, also around an actual year since Motorfest has come out. That's crazy, bro. Time actually flies. But the thing I did want to talk about in this gameplay is going to be a few different things. Number one here is going to be the nighttime gameplay. My goodness, it looks amazing. The lighting in this game, guys, like when he's driving the Porsche Taycan, I think that's what that is. He was then basically driving along the highway. You could see like the lighting of the car and the really nice display of like the buildings in the background. And I just found it to look so dang good, man. Like, I really can't wait to play this game at nighttime. I do understand during the day is going to have different lighting and stuff, but you know what? I still like the look of it despite like different things being like different shades, or, some people saying the cars don't have shadows and stuff like that. You know what, man? The biggest thing with me, guys, I can't even lie here. Like, I do understand the dev team on this game is smaller. We do understand they don't have the money and like the resources like a AAA developing studio like Ubisoft making something like Motorfest. So if this game is even going to be remotely better in multiple ways, honestly, that is a win. The other clip I did want to show here is going to be another nighttime scene. I think it's a hood view. Let me know what car that is in the comments below. I can't completely tell. I don't want to say the wrong vehicle because I honestly don't know, but he's basically driving through like the city almost, pretty much cruising along, going around maybe 90 or so miles an hour. And I would say right now, like cruising in that city, guys, it looks amazing. I do understand to like a certain extent there obviously isn't going to be people walking around. To be real though, that's not a big gripe of mine. Like, I don't mind it. I do understand you're not trying to run into people. Like, I do know people want to life to be like alive or something like that in the game, which I understand, but at the same time, like, I'm not super upset there isn't people walking around. Who knows? Maybe in the actual game when it does come out, there might be people. I mean, this could be an early production again. I'm not sure. The next part I did want to talk about was right after the G-Wagon was customized. Off-roading in this game, guys, I have to say it looks so dang good. Now, I do understand we're not allowed to talk about the playtest, but there's one thing I'm going to say. Off-roading was so dang fun. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I legit enjoyed it so much, and looking at the gameplay in this trailer, I cannot wait to actually jump into like a G-Wagon or a Lancia and basically cruise around on the beaches and go off-roading, bro. It looks so fun. I do know people are probably going to say, like, the car models are off and all that. You know what, man? Like, I understand, but at the same time, I'm just looking for a good driving game that I can cruise around in. It gives you that feeling of like an old test drive game, or like even that feeling of an old racing game you just haven't had recently. Now, the next part I did want to talk about in this video that really stood out to me was going to be the Ferrari at the nighttime setting. Guys, I'm not even going to lie here, this blew my mind at around 5 minutes and 30 seconds into that video. When I was watching that, I was like, my goodness, that's an 812 Superfast, I believe. He was pretty much cruising down that city at nighttime, the lighting, the cars driving around, the way that Ferrari sounded was just absolutely incredible. And I would say right now, they're probably going to nail the car sounds in test drive. I'm excited for it. But driving that Ferrari through that city, though, really had a special feeling to it. I can't wait to drive around different cars and test out how they drive or how they handle and stuff like that. And also, pretty much driving around like a pedestrian, using your turn signals, lowering those windows down. You know what? That sounds amazing to me despite some of the things people are saying. I do understand things are never going to be perfect in basically anything. Like, regardless, a lot of things might have some flaws and stuff like that. But you know what, man? Pretty much looking at the main positives of each game and also going after them, going, you know what? I like this, I like that. Driving around and cruising around in this game, being able to use your turn signals, lower those windows, drive around with your friends in a dope setting, guys, just looks awesome. Now, one of the last things I did want to talk about here is going to be the off-road nighttime gameplay in the Ford Raptor. I do know a lot of people are going to go, Block, what is with you in off-roading? And that's all you pretty much been showing on this. The funny part is, guys, I can't wait to drive some of the cars around the city and stuff, but you know what? we can all agree right now this gameplay looks awesome being off-road in that Ford Raptor. Funnily enough, I would say a lot of players are probably going to end up off-roading in something like a Lancia. I don't know if Subaru is going to be in test drive. Let me know in the comments below, but that thing would be insanely fun as well to pretty much off-road that. For me though, guys, I have to say right now, the off-roading in this game does look pretty dang awesome, and I would say most players are probably going to want to be doing that, or at least, messing around with it. And having a game that can actually be fun to off-road and also drive on the street is something probably everybody wants. The reason why I do say that, currently on Motorfest, I did want to mention this as well, a lot of the off-roading in this game doesn't even exist. I mean, funnily enough, most of the events in the game aren't even on the off-road areas, and there's barely going to be any events to do it. But I do know for a fact right now I can't be the only person watching this gameplay going, I can't wait to off-road and test drive. Legit, it is going to be so dang fun. The last clip I did want to show though is going to be in the Corvette, which is going to be toward like the 3/4 of the video, or at least that far into it. It is then going to show like a Corvette going into like a, I guess, a cargo shipping container type of area, basically cruising around at nighttime. And we can say right now, guys, the lighting in this really does look amazing. Now, the funny part about that statement, though, is I would say some people are going to be like, well, Block, like, yeah, it does look good, but there's more to it than just lighting. Like, there has to be more aspects to it, which I can agree with in some ways, but here's the thing. If we look back to something like the Crew 1, even the Crew 2, driving in nighttime in certain areas was an absolute nightmare. Funny thing is, on the Crew 2, guys, if you were driving in certain places, you could not see a thing. And I did also notice on the Crew 1, headlights and stuff didn't even work, and yet people still like driving in nighttime in there. So imagine right now having test drive having this kind of atmosphere at nighttime, like it is legit going to be insane. Now there's a few things I did want to talk about here about the initial trailer and my actual thoughts on it. Now I do know a lot of players and some people might actually nitpick certain things like the shadows and stuff not working, or something like the steering wheels not having a full steering wheel lock or something. Like, I get it, but you guys want to know what's kind of funny about that? Like, I understand the attention to detail and it's awesome. We do know something like Motorfest has the steering wheel lock, even though that's like the only thing the game actually has going for it. We do know right now the attention to detail in this test drive game is going to be incredible. For example, you can actually put your windows down, use your signals and stuff like that. Like, what other games can you actually roll your windows down and cruise? Man, I could have referenced that song pretty easy, didn't I? But I would say a lot of players are most likely going to enjoy the attention to detail that test drive is most likely going to deliver. Keep in mind, we're also going to be getting post-launch updates, which I will be touching on that in a video here soon, so stay tuned for that. But I really do feel like they can add an endless amount of things to this game over time with it. We all do know, once again, the entire dev team for Test Drive is most likely smaller than something like Motorfest. Do let me know in the comments below, guys, if you actually know how many devs are actually on the team making this game. I would almost guarantee it's going to be smaller than 300 people. Think about this for a second. We have AAA titles coming out, okay? Legit AAA titles like Motorfest coming out, and they are missing so many things. The funny part is about that, you have 300 developers working on it, and they can barely get updates out on that game. So I really do have to give them credit for what they're most likely going to do with it. And the biggest thing for me, though, is I really have a lot of patience with these dev teams, especially if they're working on bringing us a masterpiece like this one. Besides all that though, guys, I would like to know your thoughts on the exclusive gameplay trailer in the comments below. I do know for a fact right now I can't be the only one excited for this game. The hype is legit building. I also do want to mention, by the way, do stay tuned for a lot more content, not only going over like the gameplay and other things, but a lot of news and type of details coming here soon.